Hello there, welcome back. Sorry about that. Just adjusting myself. I've got like a string that goes on these glasses normally, and I've had to take it off because it just keeps sticking up all over the place. My hair's a mess. Oh, it is Sunday. Right, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to all the regular viewers, and sorry, fibre in my mouth already, we haven't even started. Welcome back to everyone who usually joins me, and if you're a new viewer, as we've got a few, thank you for subscribing, thank you for coming over, and thank you all for your beautiful comments. They're absolutely wonderful. I love reading them. Yes, so yeah, like I say, we've had a few subscribers, so I'm really happy that you're all coming over. We're nearly there, we're nearly at 500. So exciting. Sorry, I'm messing with put it down. Okay, so what have we got today? Well, I'll start off by saying it's a podcast. It's a podcast about crafting, knitting, crochet, a little bit of sewing, just maker of all, really, master of none. I've got a couple of projects. I've got one finished object, one getting there finished object, and I've just got a couple of patterns to share that I'm going to be casting on shortly. So let's get into it, shall we? Right, I'll start off with what's behind me. This is the Sabba top, and last time you saw it, I think I was probably just past, I think I was just past splitting for the sleeves, splitting the sleeve, joining the body together. Words. Okay, so that is finished. I'll pop a little picture in here of me wearing it because it looks better on. I did make a couple of adjustments to the pattern in that when I watched Marie's yarn journey, she'd made this and she'd found that the arm opening had was a little bit too big, so I omitted the last 2 rows here of lengthening for the armhole. I only did 38 instead of 40, I think it was. And then I did all of the increases for the shaping. And then the other thing I've done, it tells you to just bind off on the needle basically that you're using, but I've come down from a 4mm to a 3.25 on the last, so the last bit of ribbing, I think 2 or 3 rows I've done in 3.25 and then bind off, and it's just cinched it in that little bit and stopped it from flaring out, so I'm quite happy and it looks nice on. So I will make this again. It was a very quick knit, and I love it. I particularly like the shaping on the top of the shoulder, and the construction is fabulous. It's a really, really well written pattern. Saying that, I can get any pattern wrong because I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I kind of read a line and then assume that I know what I'm doing and carry on, to find when I go back and reread, it wasn't anything like that I've just done. So but no, it was a very, very easy to follow pattern, and it looks really nice on. So yeah, I'll be making more of those. Just show you the yarn. This was one of the recommended. I think she recommends 3 different yarns in the pattern. So this is it's the Sabba Top 2, by the way, because the first one, and I've got the pattern for that as well, I haven't made that one yet, it has ribbing on the arms and around the neck, and I didn't want, I think it's ribbing anyway. Let me just find the pattern. Excuse me. There we go. The original Sabba top has the ribbing around the neck and on the arm. A bit glary on the screen. So I've done the other version, which is the one I've just shown. Right, okay, so that's Sabba Top 2. The yarn, we were talking about the yarn. The yarn I've used, and I've used 4 50-gram balls of this yarn. It's called Cecilia. Okay, and that is a linen. Where is it? We couldn't find it last time, could we? Linen, cotton and viscose blend. 53-33. Doesn't say for the other one. Anywho, linen, cotton and a little bit of viscose blend. The colour number is 285066, so that's that one there. I'm taking a notice of the lot number because that's the one you're interested in if you like the yarn. I didn't. If you can see, it's like a 2-ply. It's kind of like a 2-ply, and it splits really easily when you're knitting it. And so yeah, splitting it as you're knitting it, it doesn't really, I expected it to, it drapes beautifully, it's got a lovely drape, but I expected it to stretch a little bit and it hasn't. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. In my case, I expected a little bit more stretch, but it's still a lovely top. The yarn is beautiful. It's just that I didn't get on with it very well. I may well just try next time doing like just a linen base or just a cotton base. Maybe it won't split as much. It depends on the ply, I suppose. But it's soft, but it's got that little bit of toothiness to it as well, that hard cotton feel, you know how cotton feels, cotton linen feels. But yeah, that's the yarn. So I bought 6 50-gram skeins, and I've probably got 2 and a bit left, so I've not quite used. This was my first attempt, which I ended up frogging. And this is one. Now, what I did find, this skein here, this ball here, was full of knots. Well, I'm not impressed with knotted yarn. When you buy a ball of yarn, I expect it to be, especially a 50-gram, from end to end with nothing, with no knots. But this, I gave up on after finding the 4th knot. I ripped it back and made 2 small balls. So that, I haven't weighed it yet, but that's probably a whole 50-gram skein. After the 2nd knot that I found, I just ripped it back and then found another 2 knots in it. So I wasn't impressed with that at all. But like I say, it's a nice yarn. Drape's lovely. Not for me though. Enough said. Okay, so that's my only finished object this week. My next work in progress is the Rock It Tea by Tanis Knits, is it? Tanis Fibre Arts. Tanis Fibre Arts. This is my first Rock It Tea and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. I will be making more of these because I've enjoyed every stitch of it. I'm not one for stripy fabrics because I don't like carrying the yarn up, and I don't like weaving in all the ends either. So I have carried the yarn up just because I don't like weaving the ends in. I don't want that many ends in a top. If it was individual colours, if they were all different colours, then that is what it is. But I am I am in the middle of a row, so please excuse that, but it is a bind off. So I am in the middle of doing the I-cord bind off, which is, if you can see, going really well. So I'm about 3/4 of the way round. Oh, I don't want to stretch you. Let's pop you through there and back again. And I'm binding off with the original needle and words, a 3.75, the same in one of these. Why is it when you come to speak, words just fall out of your vocabulary? They're just not there. Pointy needles, what are they called? Anyway, this is the top so far. So I've still to do the I-cord bind off around the neck and around the sleeves. I've knit a little bit of my hair into every line. Every row has a little bit of me in there, which I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to. But I think you'll agree. Doesn't it look lovely in those colours? Again, not impressed with the Zakami yarn because it's splitty. And I have actually got another, let me just grab that because I found a label for that. 1 second. I've got 2 balls of this, and I bought these at Yarndale 2 years ago. Yeah, not last year, the year before. The first time I met my friend Mona at a yarn show. We'd been talking on Instagram for a little while, and we met at Yarndale. Yeah, it was lovely. I'm not going this year, unfortunately. I have to work because I've changed jobs and I do have to work most Saturdays. I think I get 1 Saturday now. I didn't have any at all when I started, but I'm getting 1 Saturday in the month off, so, and it seems to be around the middle, so I'm going to miss that. But I am going to go to the Southern Wool Show at the beginning of September. So if anybody's going to the Southern Wool Show, drop me a comment and we can meet up, have a coffee, have a chat. Yeah. So this yarn is a Zakami yarn, as I said. Very splitty. I've got to think about splitty yarns, I'm sorry. It's called Cinnamon Plum and it's 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% yak, and it's 120 gram skein, fingering weight. So is that lighter than a 4-ply? I'm guessing. Which is why I've used it for this top, because the linen that I used, that is from the other colour, which is in here. Again, I don't have a label for that one, but I know that was Life in the Long Grass. Superwash merino, and I think it was 10% linen on a 4-ply, that one. But it's so soft, it's lovely, and it's got little flecks and speckles in there, which goes really well with the cinnamon plum, sorry, let me just, cinnamon plum, and it's Zakami yarns. As I say, I'm not overly impressed with the splittiness of it, but that's just because of, I suppose, the content of the yarn. So that is set to become something else, that one, and the rest of what's left, I'm guessing I'm going to have quite a bit left off this 100 gram as well, 125 grams, sorry. But so far, I love the top. I will make this pattern again, although I may not make a stripy version next time. I shall probably do a one that's just all one colour. Maybe I'll do a black one. I haven't got anything in black that I've knit. And it is my favourite colour. No, every colour is my favourite colour, to be fair. I'm quite fickle when it comes to colour. Bit like another podcaster that I know. Hey Mandy. Oh, bless us. What are we like? We like what we like. And we just kind of gravitate towards what we like. I'm just going to pop that through there. So yeah, I'm nearly finished with that. So next time you see that, it will be off the needle, and hopefully I'll be wearing it for the podcast. I'm not wearing this top today just because it's a little bit cool. Don't know what's happened to the weather. It's bank holiday weekend in August in the UK. And look at it. It isn't raining yet, but it's very blowy, as you can see from the trees. We had a little bit of rain earlier. I popped to Dunelm for some cottons and some floor cleaner. And yeah, it was lovely when I went in. The sun was shining, very blowy, but the sun was shining. When I came out, it was raining. So out came the brolly to run to the car. Okay, the next whip that I have is Richard's socks. And I did find, I don't know if you remember on my last podcast, I couldn't find, I thought I'd lost or mislaid my other 2.25 9-inch circular, but it was in the bag, guys, in the bag, in the little pocket. Now in the little pocket inside I keep a needle gauge. I have the other flexi circulars. There's 4 of those. These are from Heuser Sharps, I think they're called. Heuser Sharps. And those are what I do my toes, to finish off the toes. They're really good, I love them. They're absolutely perfect for doing toes on socks, and if I start toe up socks, they're ideal for that as well, because I can do magic loop. I don't like magic loop. I have tried it on several occasions. When I think I did my first toe up sock on magic loop, because that's how I'd seen it on YouTube. So I followed a YouTube tutorial. It turned out absolutely fine. I wasn't very dexterous with the magic loop, so hence I bought sets of these, and I'll have, these are a 3.25, and I have four different sets that I use on socks in different sizes. I'll keep my what do you call it, 2 of those for cables. So I'll keep one of my cable needles in there, and a variation of stitch markers, light bulb ones. I've got a couple in here that are, I love these ones with the circles. Those are my favourite, and they're just the ring on its own. These all are my favourite ones. A lot of my other stitch markers, I don't actually use it very often, because I'm not just in love with them, but I love light bulbs, circles, and oh, this one's got a sheep on. Look at him, isn't he beautiful? Here we go. Oh, yeah, so I'll keep a variation of all of these things, and my missing 2.25 is in there. Oh, there's the other one of those. And I also keep a little crochet hook in case I drop a stitch and I have to pull it up. And my needles. These are my darning. A little set of darning needles, and I got this from, oh, I think it was Yarndale last year. I've added to the needles, but I think it had another one of those needles in, which is over there on, because I've been weaving in ends on the Sabba top. So it had 3 needles in it, in a case, and it looks like a little lipstick, doesn't it? I really like it, it's lovely. And that just lives in my sock bag, because if I put it away anywhere else, I forget where I've put it. If I leave it in here, I know where it is for all my projects. So that's cool. So that's as much as I've got on the one sock, and then I've cast on, and I'm just 1 row away from finishing, I think, the ribbing on the second. So those are my work knitting, as I've said before, but I need to crack on and do a little bit more on them. And the yarn is Attic Spin Dye, and the colourway is Cauldron. So those are those. Nothing special to say about their socks. They're vanilla socks in my own vanilla sock recipe for Richard, because he likes a long leg and a long ribbon. So it's good because it uses up, I usually get almost all the yarn. What I need to start doing, I think, leave me a comment if you think this is the correct thing to do, but I think I need to start doing his socks toe up, so that I get all of the foot and the heel on two socks first, and then knit until the yarn's gone. I think that's the way to go with it, because I always end up with probably 10 grams left from 100 gram skein, which he likes them long anyway. I may as well try and utilise all of the yarn rather than not all of the yarn. Anyway, let's move on. For this top, this top, I used my new higher steels. they're amazing. I've got to say, guys, I absolutely love them. I'll do a needle review in a couple of weeks' time, because I've got a few different sets now, but these are fast becoming my favourite of all of my needles. Higher steels, I think they're called, or sharps. It's the ones in the green, and I think they're 3mm up to, what's that needle gauge? I can't read it on there, I'm sorry. I have glasses on, but to a 4mm. Is it? No, it's got to be 3.25, is it? No, 3.75. So they start from a 3.75 up to a 4mm. 7 pairs, and they come with um 16-inch and a 24-inch and a 32 and a 40-inch cords as well. And I got these from Dina's Home of Craft when I did the Wool at J13 wool show this year in June. Dina was there, and that's what I purchased from her, and I love them. So if you're in the market for a new set of needles, I'll pop a link to her shop in the comments, in the whatever it is, the description below. But yeah, they're lovely. I really like them. Recommend, highly recommend. Right, so I've got a couple of patterns that I want to be casting on in the next couple of weeks. The one I think I'm going to need another skein of yarn for, because I bought some yarn again from Wool at J13, one of the vendors there, with a project in mind. Let me find, that's my library, that's in my favourites. I haven't bought the pattern yet, but it's this one. Oh, that's better. And that is called, yeah, Stromboli by Caitlin Hunter. And I think I'm going to need, I've got 2 skeins of yarn. Oh, I've come off it again. Okay, so that's one pattern. And the yarn that I need to use, I want to use, is from Second City Yarns. And the colour is Maple Tunnel. It's she does the number 11 bushroot colours from the number 11 bushroot in Birmingham, and it's like a grey green. It's a 320 meters per 100 gram skein, 4-ply, 100% non-superwash wool, which will be perfect for that top, I think. Oh, it's gone very dark because the weather is rubbish, so I do apologise for the light keep in and out in. There we go, that's probably more. But yeah, so I need to get hooked up with another skein of that yarn from the lovely Second City Yarns. And the next pattern that I want to be casting on, which I have got stash yarn, I'm sure, for these mittens. they're absolutely beautiful. I was inspired by the lovely Mandy from Mouse's Makes. It's Erica May's Outfoxed mittens. I'm not sure what colours I'm going to be doing them in yet because I haven't pulled out any yarns for them. But one may be the green and then possibly a cream with that. So that would be my main colour, and then like a cream, but who knows, that might change. This one is a Life in the Long Grass colourway, and it's one of a kind from the earth tones that they did, and I've had this in stash quite some time. 70% superwash merino and 20% yak and 10% nylon. So that may be the one colour, and the other pattern that I'm going to be casting on very shortly isn't on, oh it is on here, but I do have the pattern that I've printed out there. So this is my next. I've made a couple of hats in the past, but I just want some small projects. I've been doing like quite a lot of garment makes lately. Let me just turn that way. So I want to make that hat. This is a free pattern from Plymouth Yarns on Ravelry. And I've had it in my queue for quite some time, or is it in my favourites? I've had it in my library a long time, but it was in my favourites to start with. So I printed off the pattern last weekend, and I am going to be doing that one. It does say a lace beret. That doesn't look like lace to me. I'll work it out and see, but I'd like to do it in this yarn, which I can't. Oh, I started knitting this into the moon. I think it was the moon top, moon jumper, moon something, a couple of years ago, and then because I wasn't that good at colour, I hadn't done much colour work, or I hadn't done any colour work. This was my first colour work item. It was a free pattern on Ravelry, if I can find it. There we go. Moon of My Life it was called, and the colour work looked absolutely beautiful. Don't know why it's doing that. There we go. I think it was a free pattern. Yes, it was a free pattern. I'm sure it was a free pattern. There we go. It looked absolutely beautiful, and I used this colour, which is a Life in the Long Grass. Don't have the label anymore, so I'm sorry, I can't tell you what colour it is, but it's a green, like it's like a moss green, maybe a bit darker than a moss green, slightly. And the linen colour that I'm doing in the Rocket Tea, I used that yarn as well, because that's been around a couple of times, that one. So I did it in those, and it looked absolutely beautiful. I did podcast it, so if you go back way back a couple of years ago, you will see with these colours in, and it did look really lovely. So that is going to be a hat at last. It's been in my stash drawer over there in my living room, because I've got a stash drawer this is where I sit and knit. My stash drawer is there for all of my accidents, shall we call them, frogs, and bits that are left over from socks and bits that are left over from the jumpers that I've made. So I'm just trying to go through there and pull out some colours to knit some stuff. So my other, and I've got one more that I have, oops, a daisy, and it's a pattern by knit by Sam, and it's called the Irene scarf. She's got several different, there we go, knit up in different yarns, but isn't that beautiful? So I just want a one skein scarf that I can not spend the rest of my life knitting. Some projects that are a little bit quicker to get off the needles, and yeah. So that's called the Irene scarf by Samantha Renwick, and she's knit by Sam on Instagram. So that'll be on the needles in the near future. And that, now I do also have my broken wing shawl still on the needles. I haven't worked on that at all because all my attention this week, and well for the last 2 weeks, has been on the rocket tee to get that finished and off the needles. So all my big projects I'm trying to get off the needles and then get some smaller ones on there before I start on the bigger stuff again. So yeah, so that's all of my projects as it is at the moment, apart from blankets, which I do keep saying that I'm going to do and I'm going to go through. So that'll be a video in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try and do a couple of videos on those. We are running a giveaway. Don't know if we should call it a giveaway, but it's all in a mail bag ready to go to its new owner as soon as we close that. So if you want to get a chance to win this, it's for a 500 subscriber giveaway and my 3-year podversary. And all you have to do, there's a bag, it's a made by me bag, and as one of my lovely ladies left in the comments, I should be putting tags on my bags. Yes, I should, but I haven't been able to just decide on a design for a label yet, but in the near future. It's got 2 pockets on the outside as usual, zip and a carry handle. So that is the bag. We have a Unikite yarn to go with that, Utra Yarn Craft, moi, and the Easter Parade sock set with 2 20-gram minis and a 100-gram skein. So that's a nice little giveaway, I think, for someone to win. So all you need to do is pop me a message in the comments below. Just tell me what your favourite sock pattern that you've knit, that you'd like to knit. We have a lot of people who've left comments who are new to sock knitting, so hello to you guys. Sock knitting's not half as crazy or scary as it first seems to be. I know with the first pair of socks that I ever made, I was scared to death to do the heel, but I went on to Ravelry. I found the Fish Kiss Lips heel. I think that's what it's called, or maybe I'm saying that wrong. But anyway, you all sock knitters know. And if you go onto Ravelry, you'll find that pattern. I do still have it in my library. It was a £1 pattern, and if you've never knit socks, it's a lifesaver. That's it called. Fish Lips Kiss Heel, it's called. Let's have a look. And it's by the Sock Therapist. Let me just pop it there. And it was a £1 pattern. It's a huge pattern. There's pages and pages and pages of it, but it's so worth having. And once you've learned how to do it, it's easy. It just gets locked in your brain, and that's it. You won't go back. I don't like some of the heels. I do like some of the heels. I can't tell you what they are, because I think the peasant heel was one that I did on a sock by Roro and Cades, Kelly at Roro and Cades, who also has some amazing patterns. So I'll link her Ravelry page and down below as well. You need to go and check out Kelly's patterns because they are beautiful. I've knit a couple, and I need to knit lots more of her socks. So yes, so if you want to win that prize, don't forget to subscribe as well. I should have said that as well. So subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment about what your favourite sock pattern to knit, or that you have knit, or if you're learning that you'd like to knit in the future. You can put all of the patterns that you like. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'd like you to get in touch, get involved, because this is my gift to you guys for being so amazing, and keeping coming back and subscribing and leaving me comments. You know, I love to hear and see and read all of them. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to, what you've been knitting on, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.